Hello, this is Stephen Baltz, your instructor for computer applications online at Ozarka College. What I'm going to do today is take you through the first few pages of Word Module 3. In this module, we're creating a business letter. And there are some specific formatting guidelines for creating a business letter that we'll kind of look at as we go through this module. So basically, when we're done with this module, we should have a 2-page document that looks just like the pictures there on page WD 3-2 in your textbook. Alright, the first page is the actual letter, and then the second page is a schedule that's going to be basically the second page of the letter. Okay? Alright. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start Microsoft Word by going to the Start button on the taskbar in Windows and then finding the Word tile. Alright, and clicking on the Word tile. And then we're going to click on the blank document thumbnail. And then we're going to maximize our screen. Alright, and we also need to make sure that the Print Layout button is selected down on the right side of the status bar to make sure that we're looking at the document the way it will appear in the textbook. And then we also need to, on the Home tab, in the paragraph group of the Home tab up on the ribbon, we need to make sure the Show Hide button is selected so that we can see all of the formatting marks in our document. The next thing we need to do is we need to go to the View tab up on the ribbon, and in the Zoom section we need to click on Page Width so that it zooms in on our document in the document window so that we can see what we're doing on our document a lot easier. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to, on page WD 3-4, if you're not real familiar with a business letter and the formatting of it, you'll need to kind of look through the Consider This section there on page 3-4. It explains what a letterhead is and the parts of a letterhead. The letterhead is basically the top portion of the letter that has the company name on it that's sending out the letter and their contact information. And usually it will also have some type of logo that identifies the business. Alright, so just kind of look at that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do to create this letterhead part of the letter is we're going to insert a shape. And so to do that, you're going to go to the Insert tab up on the ribbon. You're going to click the Shapes button, which is in the Illustrations group over on the left-hand side here. So we're going to click the Shapes button and it opens up the Shapes gallery, and they're all organized into different categories of shapes. The kind of shape that we need to add is a rectangle shape. So what we're going to do is find the rectangle shape, and you'll notice there's a rectangles category under the Shapes gallery, and the rectangle shape that we need to click on is the very first one under the rectangles category. So we're going to click right there, and you'll notice when you click on a particular shape in the Shapes gallery, your mouse pointer will change to a crosshair. Alright, and that's the indication that now what we can do is use that crosshair mouse pointer to drag in our document over to the right and down the approximate size that we want to make the shape. So that's what you're going to do next. Just drag that crosshair mouse pointer over to the right and down just enough so that your shape size is similar to what you see there on the top of page WD 3-6. Alright, so if you don't get it the first time, just keep trying it until you get the approximate size. We're going to size it to exact dimensions in just a minute, but just get it as close as you can for right now to the picture there on page 3-6 in your book. Alright, once we have drawn the shape out on our document, what we're going to do is make sure that it's the correct size. To do that, you're going to make sure the shape is selected, and then you're going to go up to the size box in the size group on the Drawing Tools Format tab up on the ribbon right over here. You'll notice there's a height box and a width box. What we want to do is make sure the height is 0.5, alright, or 0.5, so you can actually just type that in if you want to. 0.5 in the height box, then go down to the width box, and that one should be 5 inches. So you're just going to type in a 5 right there, and then press enter, and it will resize the shape for us to those dimensions. So 0.5 by 5 inches. Alright, so we've got that, and the next thing we need to do is we need to change the object's position, because what we want to do is we want to center it horizontally on the page, but also align it at the top margin of the page. So there's a special positioning format that you can assign to the shape to get it to be positioned where you want it in relation to everything else on the page. So the way you're going to do that is make sure the shape is still selected, and you're going to go up and point to and click on the position button in the Arrange group on the Drawing Tools Format tab. Alright, and then once you click on position, you'll notice a gallery displays with different options, and we want to click on, under the with text wrapping category, you're going to click on the one that is on the first row, second column. It's called Position in Top Center with Square Text Wrapping. Alright, so you're going to click on that, and you'll notice it centers it at the top of the page. Alright, so we've got our shape positioned where we want it, and so the next thing we're going to do on page 3-8 is we need to change the text wrapping for the shape, so that we can actually insert the rest of the letter, the rest of the letterhead, and also the rest of the letter itself in the place where we want it in relation to the shape. So what we're going to do is make sure the shape is still selected, and you're going to click on the little button to the right of the shape. It's called the Layout Options button. You're going to click on that, and under With Text Wrapping, you're going to click on the top and bottom layout style. So you're going to click on top and bottom, and then close that Layout Options box by clicking its Close button. Alright, once we've done that, next thing we need to do is apply the shape style to the shape to get it the color that we want it and so forth. So to do that, you'll notice there's a Shape Styles gallery over here on the left side of the Drawing Tools Format tab. And what we're going to do is make sure again that the shape is still selected, and we're going to click on the More button, which is that little down arrow to the right of the Shape Styles box there on the Drawing Tools Format tab. And when you click on the More button, it basically will display all of the options that we have for the Shape Styles, and basically the Shape Styles gallery. And then you're going to need to do is look at the picture there on page 3-9 in your book, and it points to the correct style that we want to apply. It's in that orange column, which is the third column in the gallery, and we're going to be pointing to and clicking on the fifth, the style in the fifth row of that third column. It's called Moderate Effect Orange Accent 2. Alright, so we're going to click on that shape style. Alright, once we've done that, the next thing on the bottom of page 3-9 is we need to add a shape outline. Alright, we're going to change the shape outline. So to do that, you'll notice there's a shape outline button to the right of the Shape Styles gallery. that we just used. So you're going to click on Shape Outline up on the ribbon there, and it'll show a gallery of different colors that we can use for the shape outline. And again, in your book on the bottom of page 3-9, in figure 3-9, it shows, it kind of points you to the right color. It's on the very first row of colors under theme colors, and it's called Gold Accent 4. So we need to click on that particular outline color. Once we've done that, next thing we need to do on page 3-10, make sure the shape is still selected, and we're going to apply a glow effect to the shape. So to do that, you're going to click the Shape Effects button, which is right below the Shape Outline button that we just used, and it'll show a drop-down menu. And since it's a glow effect that we're adding, we're going to point to glow on that menu. And then we're going to, you can look at the picture there on page 3-10, and it points you to the correct glow style that we need to add. It's on the first row, fourth column. And it's called Glow 5-Point Gold Accent Color 4. Alright, so you're going to click on that glow style, and it just adds that glow effect to the outline or the outside border of the shape. Alright, so just kind of verify that you've got all the formatting applied to the shape. Alright, so our next step, after we've got the shape color and the outline and the glow effect added that we want, next thing we need to do is actually insert the company name, or in this case the college's name, into the shape to create that part of the letterhead. So to do that, you're going to right click the shape, and you're going to, on the shortcut menu, you're going to click on Add Text, and that will move the insertion point inside the shape, and then you're going to type in what's shown there on the last bulleted item under step 2 on the top of page 3-11 in your book. So you're going to type in the name of the college, which is Sunset State College. Alright, so you're just going to type that into the shape, and then we're going to need to increase the size of that text, and so we're going to drag through the text to select it, and then we're going to change the font size to 24, and it wants you to use the increase font size button to do so. Of course, you could just go to the Home tab, which you'll need to do anyway. Go ahead and click the Home tab, and you could just change the font size in the font size box, but it's wanting you to kind of learn a different way of increasing font size, which is to use this little button to the right of the font size box on the Home tab, which is the Increase Font Size button. So you're going to continually click on that Increase Font Size button until 24 displays as the font size. Alright, so once 24 displays as the font size, you're going to stop. And then on page 3-12 at the top, it wants us to bold that text as well, so make sure the text is still selected. We're going to click the bold button in the font group of the Home tab, and then you're going to click anywhere in the shape to deselect the text. Alright, and then at this point we're going to save the part of the letterhead that we've got done, which is the company name here. We're going to save this with the name that it shows there on step 3 on the top of page 3-12. So to do that, we're going to click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar. We're going to click on Browse, and that will open up the Save As dialog box, where we're then going to type in the file name that it wants us to use for this document, which is SC_WD_3_ Sunset State letterhead. Alright, Once you get that typed in, then you're going to have to, in the upper pane of the Save As dialog box, you're going to need to navigate to where you want to save this particular document. And you'll basically save it in the same location where you saved all your other Word documents so far this semester. Alright, and so you're going to navigate to where you want to save it and then click on Save. Alright, so we've got it saved. Now, our next step is to insert the picture of the eagle, which is going to be our logo for our letterhead. Now, in your book, it tells you to use the Online Pictures button to find a picture of an eagle and then insert it and resize it and so forth, position it where it says to on the letterhead. If you use the online method, you can find a picture of an eagle, but it's not going to be the exact picture that it shows in your book. If you want to use the exact picture that it shows in your book, what you're going to need to do is go to My Ozarka and go to this course, just CPSI 1003 section 90, and you're going to go to the activities page and go down to week 5 where you see Word Module 3 Assignment 1. You're going to click on that, and down under Resources you'll notice there is a link to the picture of the eagle that we need to insert into this letterhead. So we're going to right click on the link to the eagle picture, click Save Link As, and then when the Save As dialog box opens, just type in eagle as the name so you know that that's the picture of the eagle. And then you're going to navigate in the upper pane to where you want to save that picture. And I would save it in the same place where you just saved the document. Alright, and that way you know where it is. Alright, so once you've saved it where you want to save it, you're going to click Save on the bottom of the Save As dialog box. And then what we're going to do is go back to our Word document, and to insert the picture, first thing we're going to do is click the paragraph mark below the shape. Okay, that's very important. Make sure you don't have the shape selected when you insert the picture. Alright, just make sure you click on the paragraph mark below the shape. Alright, then we're going to click the Insert tab up on the ribbon. And again, in your book it says to use the Online Pictures button, but instead what we're going to do is just click the Pictures button. Alright, and then that way we can use the exact picture that it shows in your book. And then we're going to navigate to where we saved the picture. So you'll just need to navigate to wherever you saved that picture just a minute ago. And we're going to click on the name of the picture and then click Insert. And it just inserts it where the insertion point was in our document. Now you'll notice right away that the picture is way too large. Currently it's way too large for our purposes for the letterhead. So first thing we're going to need to do to this picture is we're going to need to resize it. Alright, and that's on page 3-14. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go click on the Size dialog box launcher over on the right hand side of the Picture Tools Format tab up on the ribbon. It's this little button on the bottom right hand corner of the Size group on the Format tab. Okay, so you're going to click on that dialog box launcher, and just like the name says, it's going to open up a dialog box for the layout of the picture. Alright, and then what we're going to do in the scale section down here, we're going to change the height, select the 53% or whatever percentage yours is on. Go ahead and highlight the number in the height box under scale, and type in 10. Alright? And then press tab, and it will also, when you press tab, it'll change the width to 10% as well. Alright? And once we've done that, we're going to click OK. You'll notice it changes the size of the picture substantially. And then we're going to need to verify that the picture is the right dimensions. And right now mine is still a little bit too large for the letterhead. So what we're going to need to do is go up to the height box up here on the size group of the Picture Tools Format tab, and select the height in the height box and type in 0.5 as the height, and then press tab to move down to the width and type in 0.65 as the width. Alright? And that will resize the picture. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of the picture. Alright? So with the picture selected, what we're going to do is we're going to click the color button on the left side of the Picture Tools Format tab in the Adjust group. Alright, right here we're going to click on Color, and you'll need to look at the picture there on the top of page 3-15 in your book, and it points you to the right color style. And so we're going to find the color style that's pointed to there. It's gold accent color for dark. This one right here. Alright, so we're going to click on that, and it just changes the color of the picture. And then what we're going to do on page 3-16, we're also going to change the brightness and the contrast of the picture by clicking on the corrections button. So immediately to the left of the color button that we just used, we're going to click on the corrections button. And again, look at the picture there on page 3-16, and it points to the correct brightness and contrast style that we want to apply. So it is this one right here. Okay, under brightness and contrast, it's the second row, fourth column. All right, when you point to it, it'll tell you what the brightness and contrast values are. It should be brightness plus 20%, contrast minus 20%. So you're going to click on that particular brightness and contrast style. All right, the other thing we need to do is we need to add a border to the picture. So make sure the picture is still selected, and we're going to go over here to the right of the picture styles gallery where you see picture border. We're going to click on the picture border button, and it opens up a gallery of different colors that we can apply to the picture border. And we want to apply the one that is pointed to there in the picture on page 3-17. Alright, so it is on the very top row under Theme Colors, and it's called Gold Accent 4. Okay, so you're going to click on that picture border color. Alright, once we've got that done, on the bottom of page 3-17, it wants us to change the layout or the text wrapping of the picture. So what we're going to do is make sure the picture is still selected, and on the right side of the picture you'll notice there's a little button there, just basically very similar to the button that we saw to the right of the shape earlier that we used. What we're going to do is click on that layout options button for the picture, and on the layout options box there we're going to click on in front of text, which is the very last option under with text wrapping. Alright, so we're going to click on in front of text, and what that's going to do is that's going to change our picture to a floating object where we can kind of move it wherever we want on the document. Okay, and because we're going to actually move it into the shape in just a minute. or actually to the left of the shape. Alright, so once you click on in front of text, what you're going to do is close that layout options box, and then we're going to move the picture where we want it in our document, which is immediately to the left of the shape. So you're going to need to look at the picture there on page 3-18 and to see where to move the picture. So you're going to point to the picture, make sure the mouse pointer is in the shape of a four-headed arrow. That just tells you that when we start dragging in just a minute, it's going to move the picture. Alright, so, and then we're just going to hold down the left mouse button and drag that picture up to the left. Just kind of align the right side of the picture with the left side of the shape. Okay? And you can actually, once you drag it pretty close to where it needs to go, you can use the arrow keys on the bottom of your keyboard to move your picture just by very small amounts at a time to get it exactly where you want it. Alright, so just get it into the position that you see there in the picture on page 3-18. Alright, once we have the eagle picture on the left side of the shape, what we're going to do is copy it, make a copy of the picture, and move the copy of the picture to the right of the shape so that we have the logo for the college on both sides of the shape. Alright, so to do that, you're going to make sure the picture is selected, and you're going to click the Home tab up on the ribbon and click on Copy. On the Copy button, it's in the clipboard group on the left side of the Home tab. So you're going to click on Copy. Alright, then you're going to click on the Paste button. Alright, and it'll create a copy of the picture. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move the copied picture, which is this one right here that's selected. We're going to drag it to the position that you see there on the bottom picture there on page 319 in your book. So we're going to drag this second picture over to the right side of the shape. Okay? So now we have one picture on the left of the shape and one picture on the right. Alright? And then once we've done that, we also want to flip the second picture, the one on the right side of the shape. We want to rotate it so that it is flipped horizontally from the first shape. And so what we're going to do is go to the Picture Tools Format tab up on the ribbon. Make sure this shape on the right, or the picture on the right side of the shape is selected. And we're going to go to the Rotate button in the Arrange group on that tab. And you'll notice there's a drop-down list box that appears when you click the Rotate button. One of the options is Flip Horizontal, and that's what you need to click on. Click on Flip Horizontal. And that way, each picture of the eagle is kind of pointed towards the name of the college. So the one on the left is kind of pointed towards the college. The one on the right is also pointed towards the college, or the name of the college. Alright, so we've got the objects in and formatted the way we want them. Alright, next thing that we need to do on page 3-20 in your book is we need to position the insertion point on the line below the shape. Alright, so move your insertion point to the paragraph mark below the shape. And we're going to click the center button because we want the contact information that we're about to type in for our letterhead. We want it centered on the page. So you're going to click the center button and then to center it. And then what we're going to do is type in the first part of the contact information, which is shown on step 3 under to format and enter text on page 3-20 in your book. So you're going to type in Office of Admissions, comma, 1001 Canton Street, MC 3300, comma, Novato, California 94945. So just make sure you type that correctly. Obviously, it's important when you're doing a letter like this that the contact information is correct. That's a vital piece of your letter, so you want to make sure it's correct. And I actually noticed a mistake I made up here, so I need to correct. You notice any mistakes on yours, you'll need to correct it. Alright, so just double check it, make sure everything's correct. Alright, once you verify that everything's correct, what you're going to do is make sure your insertion point is at the end of that text that we just typed. In other words, after the zip code that we just typed. Then you're going to press the space bar, and then we're going to insert a dot symbol in between the parts of our contact information. So far we've got the name of the office that is sending out the letter, and we've got their address. And the next thing we're going to type in just a minute is going to be the phone number. But in between those two parts of the contact information, we want to kind of separate those with the dot symbol. So to insert the dot symbol, we're going to go to the Insert tab up on the ribbon, and on the far right of the Insert tab, you'll notice is a symbol button. You're going to click on Symbol, and then one of the very first symbols that you should see in the Symbols gallery is a dot symbol. So you're going to click on the dot symbol, and it'll insert it where the insertion point was in your document. Alright, then you're going to press the space bar, and on page 3-21 in your book, under to enter text, you're going to type in the phone number that's shown there, alright, which is 415-555-0199. Again, make sure you type that correctly and verify that you've got it typed correctly, because that's an important part of any letter, okay, because it's how the reader is going to be able, the reader of the letter is going to be able to contact you, alright? And then you're going to press the space bar after typing the phone number. You're going to go back up to the symbol button and click on that same bullet symbol that we used earlier, dot symbol, alright? And then you're going to press the space bar, and then you're going to type in the web address for the college, which is shown there on step 3 under to enter more text on page 3-21. So you're going to type in sunset.edu. Alright? Once we've done that, at the bottom of page 3-21, we want to display the Home tab. And with the insertion point in the paragraph that we just typed in, the contact information of the letterhead, just make sure your insertion point's somewhere in that contact information. And then what we're going to do is insert a bottom border. To do that, you're going to go up to the Borders button arrow in the paragraph group of the Home tab. Just click that little Borders button arrow, and you'll notice it opens up a list of various borders that we can add to that paragraph. And the type of border that we want to add is a bottom border. So we're going to find bottom border in that list. It should be at the very top there. We're going to click on bottom border, and you'll notice it just adds a bottom border below the contact information, and that border is what's going to separate the letterhead, which is the top portion of the letter, from the remainder of the letter. Alright? And then once we've done that, we're going to, with the insertion point between the web address and the paragraph mark at the end of the contact information, just make sure your insertion point is where mine is up here, okay? At the between the end of the email address that we just typed in and the paragraph mark at the end of that line. What we're going to do is press enter there. Now, you'll notice when you press enter, it moves the border that we just inserted down one line. So to fix that, what we're going to have to do is find the clear all formatting button up on the font group of the home tab. And it's this one right here. It's this little button that looks like a with a little eraser over it. It's on the right side of the font group of the home tab. Alright, so you're going to click on clear all formatting, and what that will do is that'll move the insertion point down below the border, and it'll move the border back up where it's supposed to be. And that just allows us to now type the rest of the letter and not have that border keep moving down in our document, to kind of keep the border where it's supposed to be. Alright, so now what we need to do is click the Save button up on the Quick Access toolbar to save the changes that we've made to the letterhead. Okay, and at this point I'm going to stop this particular video, and in the next video I will continue with creating the rest of the business letter. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.